Hey guys, let's get more news about Dallas, but first, don't forget to subscribe and leave your like. Cowboys free agent makes scary future intentions perfectly clear. The first few days of the Dallas Cowboys offseason have been relatively quiet. They sparked headlines with their denial for the Chicago Bears to interview Mike McCarthy, but little has been made known about the current dealings within the confines of the Star this week. Whether McCarthy returns or not will have a significant impact on the offense and the futures of core pieces Dak Prescott and CeeDee Lamb. But the Dallas defense will undergo a more intriguing transition period in the coming months. Mike Zimmer's return is an unknown at this time, meaning the Cowboys could be looking at their third defensive coordinator in as many seasons. Parsons is also due a significant contract extension that would presumably make him one of the highest-paid defensive players in the league. But with the urgency of identifying a leader and securing their star long-term, finding the players to fit around those pieces remains just as important. Defensive end Carl Lawson wants to have a role in this future, claiming he is 100% on returning to Dallas. "This is the year where I feel like I'll have my biggest jump going into next season," he said, making his intentions perfectly clear. "I don't think this was my best season, but I'm more confident about going into the following season than I have before because now I know what to do and I know how to work on those things. I know I have scary potential as a football player. I know I can put it on, it's just having that consistently and being able to put it out there. I'm excited about what I'll be able to put in this offseason," he said via the Fort Worth Star-Telegram. "The winning part of it wasn't there, but bonding in the NFL, this was my best season doing that with my teammates." Lawson provided necessary depth for the Cowboys on the edge this season with Sam Williams missing the entire season with a torn ACL and rookie Marshawn Kneeland missing time as well. He finished with 5 sacks, 15 total tackles and a forced fumble. The Cowboys will see several players from their defensive front hit the free agency market at the end of the league year in March. Some of those players, including DeMarcus Lawrence and Osa Odighizuwa, could command a price too high for the Cowboys to pay. But Lawson, whose potential suitors and price tag may not be so glamorous, could be a viable option to add depth to the Cowboys' defensive front. However, it is going to take more than one small move for Dallas to restore their defense to match the levels of their recent success. Cowboys could still hire Bill Belichick as head coach, report. The Dallas Cowboys still have Mike McCarthy as their head coach, but heading into the offseason with their 7-10 record, it's certainly not a sure thing that McCarthy will remain in his current role with the team. An early favorite to coach the Cowboys was former New England Patriots head coach and friend of owner Jerry Jones, Bill Belichick. But Belichick took a head coaching job at the University of North Carolina in December, so it seemed as if he had little interest in getting back to the NFL, at least for now. However, a report from the NFL Network released on Wednesday, January 8, points out how Belichick's North Carolina contract could free him up to go back to the pros and states that multiple teams have already come knocking. Belichick's buyout number drops to just $1 million this summer, making it very simple for him to jet college and get back to the NFL, if that's something he wants. NFL teams are aware of Belichick's contract details and, according to a report from Tom Pelissero of the NFL Network, multiple NFL teams have expressed interest in him as their head coach. Right now, there are 6 NFL head coach openings, but Pelissero pointed out the Las Vegas Raiders as the main team who has expressed interest. Multiple NFL teams have inquired about whether legendary coach Bill Belichick would reconsider his move to college football, including the Raiders, whose new minority owner Tom Brady spoke recently with his old coach, per league sources, Pelissero stated in a January 8 post on X. Just because Belichick can leave North Carolina without big financial repercussions, does that mean he will? According to NFL insider and expert Diana Russini of The Athletic, it's not very probable. In a follow-up post on X on January 8, The Athletic states that Bill Belichick has no plans to return to the NFL, per Russini. they added that Belichick is focused on North Carolina. In her own post on X, Rossini reiterated, Bill Belichick has no plans to return to the NFL, per sources. I'm told his sole focus is on coaching and recruiting for North Carolina, as he continues building the Tar Heels' future. He's recruiting today in New Jersey. Of course, never say never. Anything is possible in the world of sports, so Belichick could change course. But, for now, Rossini insists he's in it for the long haul at North Carolina, or at least for the next season. As for McCarthy, during an appearance on Pardon My Take on January 8, Rossini spoke about his chances of staying with the Cowboys next season. I think the chances of him staying in Dallas are fair, like I think that could happen, she said in the episode. Look, I know that they did a little bit of work on some head coaches, behind the scenes, over the last few weeks. So, it wouldn't shock me if they also move on. She added, I just don't like how they're going about their business. How, they're just kind of hanging him out to dry right now, trying to figure out what he's going to do next. This entire year was really hard if you're him. Of not knowing what's going to be next. Rossini also stated that if McCarthy does move on, he has a good shot at getting a head coaching job with the Chicago Bears. New York Jets may have just revealed Mike McCarthy's fate with the Cowboys. It is only the third day of the Dallas Cowboys offseason and gray hairs have already started blooming. If the Mike McCarthy saga is any indication for how this offseason will unfold, Cowboys fans might be driven to pure and unadulterated apathy by July. If not for the Chicago Bears, who put in a request to speak with McCarthy about their head coach vacancy, we might still be in the dark regarding McCarthy's future. It took Jerry Jones some 24 hours to get back to the NFC North bottom feeders. After previously giving McCarthy jurisdiction to speak with any team, Jones denied the Bears' request. Everyone now thinks McCarthy will be back, though that certainly isn't official, by just denying Chicago permission. It could be a crude way of keeping McCarthy on ice for another week. Anything and everything is possible with this front office, but it stands to reason that both sides are trying to negotiate a new contract. If you're in denial about McCarthy's potential return, the New York Jets may have revealed the 61-year-old's fate with Dallas. The Jets have assembled a monstrous list of head coach candidates. If you think of someone, odds are New York has requested an interview. Despite that, they have not requested to speak with McCarthy, per Diana Rossini of The Athletic. Your initial reaction might be to slander McCarthy. The Jets' interview list could populate a small island. It must sting for them to tell McCarthy they're not interested, right? Well, McCarthy would actually be a great hire for New York. His ability to work with an intrusive owner like Jerry Jones means he could succeed next to Jets owner Woody Johnson, who can't help but inject himself into prominent football decisions. Sound familiar? The Jets also have a talented roster. They need an experienced coach who knows how to cultivate a winning culture. While McCarthy's playoff record is spotty, he is the definition of a floor-raising coach. He might be the best fit for the Jets of the names that have been reported. New York would be crazy not to interview McCarthy. Saints interim coach Darren Rizzi, whose only head coaching experience is at the Division II level, is getting an interview. Rex Ryan, who hasn't coached in the NFL in 9 years, interviewed on Tuesday. The Jets have not made the playoffs in 14 years. McCarthy has a Super Bowl and made the playoffs in 12 of 18 seasons as a head coach. If that team, who is interviewing literally everyone, isn't interviewing McCarthy, they probably know he isn't going anywhere. That is the only explanation for New York snubbing McCarthy. Unless McCarthy and the Cowboys are unable to negotiate a contract, which is possible, this saga is going to end with McCarthy back at the helm. And you, fan? What do you think of the situation of Mike McCarthy? Leave your opinion in the comments.